So today we got a 2016 Volkswagen GTI Golf. We're going to remove the front and rear door panels. They're not too difficult. They're just a little bit difficult when you're trying to pull on them to get them off. The back ones are a little bit harder than the fronts. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to want to do, I already took this one apart. First thing we want to do is we're going to want to take off this little piece that's right here, this little plastic cover. And basically on the side of it there's a little opening right here where you can get like a little wedge tool, or you can get like a little bone or something, or a little screwdriver, and get in there and then pop it and then just kind of work your way and pull it off. That's pretty easy. And then there's actually a T27 Torx in there right here that we're going to take off. So you're going to go and take that off. And then right on the bottom of the door, right down here below here, there's another Torx T27 that you need to remove. Okay, and then way on the bottom of the door. Here on the bottom of the door, there's like a plastic, there you go, there's a plastic like 10 millimeter bolt, and it's also like a Torx. You want to turn it, it's actually horizontal locking, so you want to turn it about halfway like it is right now, where it's facing up and down. I don't know if you can see the plastic on there. That part right there faces up and down, and that unlocks the door so that you can actually pull the door panel off. And the way to do that is to use like a little 10 millimeter combination wrench. And basically all you're going to do is put it on there and just kind of turn it halfway, and then it'll, instead of it being like this, you're going to turn the locking mechanism to go up and down, and then that way it'll actually release the door panel from there. Okay, and then pretty much after that, it's we got to try to find a spot to where we can kind of tug on it, pull it, and slowly pull it off. If the clips do come off, because some of them do, just put them back on the door panel when you're done. What I like to do is I usually like to take like some wedges so that you can get your fingers behind it. So you want to start in the spot wherever you can get behind here. Since you've already released the bottom of the door panel, you got to place. You can actually probably grab it from here too. So if you pull that towards you, then you want to go ahead and pull your wedges and then just kind of work your way around. Now this door panel is already taken off. I've already taken it off. But the clips, I just kind of pop some of the clips back on there. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to release the door handle, and then we're going to release any of the wiring that's attached to that. Before we do that, we want to make sure to lower the windows, so then that way we can see back there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and lower the window, and I'll swing you around. So we're going to go ahead and pull the panel. And then behind here, we have a mechanism right here. So this mechanism here comes off fairly easy. You just pull that little tab and it just comes out. And then you hook it back in and it snaps back into place. Make sure that that little ball goes right into that little socket that goes there. And then, so the one harness is really kind of hard to see here. It's a little blue harness. Just has a little release tab under there. Just push down right there and then pull down. And then there's another one here. I believe it's for the mirrors. That one also has a little release tab on there. Just push down right there and then pull down. You have the little plug for the little alarm light right here. Now sometimes these, when you pull the panel off, they just pop right off. Don't know about this one. There's the alarm light there, and then if you look, it has like a clip on each side that holds it in place. So we need to separate those and then just pull that big long piece down. So this part is a little bit hard to get it on camera because I can't hold it and show you, and there's not much lighting in here. Okay, so then I could show you now that I got it. So basically, these two pieces, if you could squeeze them and pull down, the light will come off. I just basically kind of put a screwdriver on one side, kind of pulled on a little bit, put a screwdriver on the other side, and I pulled it out. So it's the same concept, but now that I'm looking at it out, I can actually squeeze it and pull it down. This harness is way down here where the switch is. I can't really feel around. I can't tell what comes off here. So the easiest thing to do is kind of turn the panel around so you can look in here and actually pull the switch out. So the easiest thing to do is to actually turn the panel, look at the back side of the panel, kind of turn it upside down in a sense, because what you want to do is you want to get to the front of this switch right here, okay? And what you want to do is you kind of want to push on these tabs right here, push them in, and push the switch up, and then slowly pry it up, and then pull it forward, and it should come out. And then this way, now we can look at the harness that we need to take off. And there's a reason we couldn't take it off, because it's got a little locking mechanism on there. Little locking mechanism on here. This little locking mechanism has to come off. You got to just pry that little red piece up, and then it lets you push down on the tab and then pull it out of the switch. Okay, so once we got the switch off, now we pretty much can finish taking the panel off. I kind of snapped it back into place just to hold it there, and then that pretty much pulls the panel off. And then it's going to be reverse order, putting it back on. What I would probably suggest is feed this wire through, plug in your switch, and then start putting all the other harnesses on, and then put the cable back on, and then hook it back onto there, and then go ahead and lock it, and then put all your screws in when you're done. So that's how you do the front ones. Now the back ones don't have all these harnesses. There's basically, it's a little harder to take off. And then that bolt that's down here, it's behind the light. So you have to take that light out, and then you have to get like either like a 10mm socket to get in there, and you need a light because it's really hard to see in there, and it's kind of sunk in. The design was really crappy on this that they did that, but that's how they did them. So we'll go ahead and show you how we did that. So on this one, we're going to do pretty much the same thing. We're going to go ahead and take this little plastic piece off of here, and then take off the little Torx bolt that's there. There's another Torx bolt on the bottom of here, and then on the bottom we're going to take this little light off down here, and then we're going to turn that little 10mm Torx bolt, and then we're going to start tugging and pulling the panel. Okay, so I've taken some of this stuff apart. So basically, like this cover right here, all you just really need to do is get up in here and then pop it off, and then kind of just work our way. It should just pop right off. And then there's a Torx in here that I already took off. So basically that would come out of there. Then down here on the bottom of the door, there's also another Torx that we pulled out of there. Same size. So as we come down here to the bottom of the door, there's a little light right here that you can just pop off. Pretty simple. You take a plastic tool or a screwdriver and just pop it off. Comes right off. And then inside of there, there's that plastic bolt that needs to be turned. Now it's really far in there. It's kind of hard to see. You need to get a light. I could barely see it when I was trying to take it off. Once we get that off, then we're going to go ahead and pull the panel, and then we're going to do the same thing with the switch up here. We're going to go ahead and take our little pry tool from the back side and push in, and then pull that switch out, and then go ahead, and then we can unplug the harness. Unless you can get your hand back there and unplug the harness, release the handle cable from up here. There we go. So right now it's actually facing up and down. Normally it's facing from side to side. And so what we want to do is make sure that it's like that, in that position right there when we go to remove the panel. I found it easier to use just the Makita and just turn it really slowly with that Torx bolt. Or you could probably use a 10mm bolt. It's just that little plastic piece kind of gets in the way right there. This one in the front of us right here might get in the way. I don't know what this, like I said, this design is kind of crappy that they did it like this. Quarter turn, really. Because if it's side to side, then it's just going to go up and down. So it's basically 1/4 turn. Okay, so once we went ahead and pulled that bolt there, we took the bolt off from down here, and then we went ahead and took out the light and turned that. Next thing we want to do is you want to pry the panel off. Now, like I said, I already took this panel off, but it is pretty difficult to do. Even though you have a section here where you can grab on it, it's still kind of hard to grab from right there. All I did was I grabbed from there, and then I went ahead and I stuck like a wedge underneath it, and then I just kept trying to work my way around with wedges, but just trying to pull on it. Same thing over here. Now if you get lucky, it'll pop off fairly easy. I doubt it. These are pretty tight. And what you want to do is you want to work your way all the way up, all along the sides, each side. Once we go ahead and pop the bottom off, it's going to be really hard, so you really have to like push up on the sides. Like over here, you really want to like go back and forth and wiggle it up, and then get this side up first. Once you get it up, then you'll be able to get the panel to come off like that. And then we're going to go ahead and unattach the handle right there. So once we have the panel off, then we want to go ahead and release the cable mechanism from right there. So basically all we do is we push this little cable like that, and then this just releases and comes right off. Little speaker right here. It's kind of hard to get in the camera because I can't reach the cables, but it has two little pins on the sides that you basically push in. Now down here we have the same concept as in the front. You want to flip the panel kind of around. You want to take a screwdriver or a panel removal tool or something and just push that front part so we can push the switch through. And then we go ahead and plug it. You just squish both sides. Let's go ahead and unplug the switch, which is basically just pushing down on this little tab right here and pulling it out. And that pretty much does it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, hit me up.